Hey y'all, hey, come on in. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. I hope everyone has been doing good. I know I didn't do Wisdom Wednesday last week, and hold on, the signal is messed up. And I'm actually traveling now, but I did not want to miss this week. Sometimes in the summertime, it's a lot besides getting um, self care and taking vacations, um, with working and doing other things that I do during the summer months because I work during the year. So some months are kind of hectic. Summer and fall is kind of hectic, and so I intentionally. Good evening to those that are coming in. Last week, I intentionally did not do a Wisdom Wednesday. I considered even not doing one on today. Good evening, everyone that's coming in, and the ones that will come after to see the replay. But um, I said I was going to come tonight, just briefly, and I did get the Lord gave me to go ahead, and I'm gonna cover some things. That's why tonight is called checking in. Okay, that's why it's called checking in. It's just a check in. It's just a post check. Um, but I'm going to cover some things this evening, and I hope that you will take into consideration. This won't be the first time that I'm saying what I'm saying. It's actually a reminder, but sometimes reminders are good for us. Um, and but I've missed you guys. I have not, which I probably do a little bit more in the days to come. And even this weekend, I know I got some things that are coming up. I got some presentation, some trainings, organizational trainings I have next week, and so on top of family and different things. And so there are some things this evening that I'm going to cover. And I want you guys to really pay attention and really be fine tuned and really assess yourself and where you are and where you need to be. And oftentimes, you know, you may not take the time that you need, and you don't have to go nowhere all the time. Sometimes, even when I have work conferences that I'm going to or different things, sometimes you have to steal away even when you're home. I'm intentional about time. I'm intentional about putting my do not disturb on. I know we've been hearing about these things consistently now, but I've been doing those things for years, uh, because I realized some things, and it's getting more so that you have to take time for yourself. You have to know when to say no. Okay. No is a complete sentence. Whether you put a statement, an exclamation, however you put an emphasis on it, whatever the case may be, and you do it unapologetically. Okay. I made a message because I do a lot of different things, but I put up a message on yesterday because even still, oftentimes I don't do a lot of announcing, you know, where I am or what I'm getting ready to do or posting a whole lot of different things on social media. I pick and choose. Sometimes where places I may go, I may never put up, and it's not because, you know, anybody that knows me know that's just the type of person. Sometimes I put stuff up, sometimes I don't. But oftentimes when people don't see me on social media or I don't post my encouraging things that I typically post, they check in. Certain ones they have a message, and I appreciate that. They're called to check in to make sure. And sometimes I have to steal away from social media, not because it's distracting, but it's because I myself have to be refueled, refreshed, you know, take time for myself, take time for my family, or do the necessary things that I need to stay afloat, do the necessary things that I need to stay afresh, do the necessary things that I need to make sure that I am in perfect peace, do the necessary things that I need to do as a mother, as a person. I know a lot of things to a lot of people, and sometimes when it's that way, or when you're an encourager, or when people can kind of depend on you for a lot of things, that stuff can get weighty. Okay, it can get very weighty, because at the same time, and this, people have been saying this for years, not just prophets, but individuals in general, because you don't have a half a title to know. Sometimes those same things that you are or you do for people, sometimes it does not come from the same people that you may pour out to, right? Or the same thing, people love that can pull from you, but they may not be the same ones that replenish you. And sometimes, and I learned a long time ago, when God brought me into a certain season that I am in, that was going to be more so the case. The same. Listen, and sometimes it can be, well, why God this, that, and the other. But then when He begins to show you different things, and not only show you, sometimes your dependency really has to rely on the Lord, because just like the word says, man will let you down if you put your trust and your hope just in a man or a woman. That's why you can't do that. That's why so many things, and that was not where I was going. I'm doing a check-in, so that I was going to not be here for, I'm here, but I won't be here for a long time. You understand? Because um again, um you have to know when to shut things down, but you have to realize there's so many things that are trying to take the attention of the people, to take the distractions, and so that it keep you off making sure that you're healthy in your mind, your spirit, and your soul. There's so many different things, and you have to be mindful to check in with yourself. I'm checking in with you to make sure that you're okay. Good evening for the ones that are coming on now. I'm to make sure that you have focused on you, to make sure that you still away, or make sure that, there's a lot of people that are grieving. There's a lot of things that are happening, and grief looks different for everybody. But just as much attention that we can put on everybody else stuff and what everybody else got going on, we need to make sure that we put that same energy on ourselves. Even when it comes to the goals that we may be crashing and knocking out, the things that God is telling us to do, you got to be mindful that you're moving at a pace and at the place that He has called you to do. Because just because we receive prophetic words does not mean that it's for the now that we do it. Sometimes people are called to be caught up in doing and being on this and doing this and that and the other, and that's not what is supposed to happen. And it wears you out. Yeah, it's good, you're working, you're finally at a place that God is wanting, called you to be and want you to be, but you better be careful about the motives that you have, because some people, people pleasing looks different now, because now I feel like I have arrived, and now this, that, and the other, and this work out here, especially when you have a call on your life that He's called you, not man, not you trying to. It's weighty. Plus, you trying to navigate through do your own life, and because all of our life, there's nothing peaches and cream about what some of us may be going through. Okay, so we may make it look a certain way, but it does not mean that we're not going through trials and tribulations and storms like anybody else. So I ask and I pray, not only checking in on you, but that you allow Him to keep you in perfect peace, but also that continue to pray for God's grace over your life and His mercy over your life, because you know what, it can be so easily, we know what's going on. If you don't know, you better find out. You better read and know for yourself. And let me tell you another thing with this check-in. Stop announcing everything and every move on social media. You're wondering why people are praying for your downfall, whether it's family, whether it's friends, where's whoever. You're wondering why the enemy can grasp and take and speak and spew and the demonic forces come because you post everything on social media. Some people, some of you wouldn't even be able to live if there was no social media because you want to live out loud. A lot of people don't care. You may post all this different stuff on social media about people and how this, what people doing to you, and all these other things, and how the enemy tries to do this and that, and you talking to your enemies because everybody that you got so many people that's viewing. I seen somebody live the other day that's viewing your stuff. You get a lot of views, and I've told somebody this exact thing the other day. It's amazing, and it's because of a live that I did, and I was kind of going off a little bit, but not going off. And it's about some things that I'm gonna work on that in due time, because I get a lot of people that's reaching out, wanting to connect and do this and that, and I just have to sit down and check in and be like, okay, is it time for me to move? Because some things can be overwhelming, and I'm only one person, and you can imagine how often people reach out, and I'm thankful um that he seems the best to me, and I mean the Lord. But sometimes people do that because of just connecting, because of influence, or whatever the case may be. And I love to help people because I know that is what God has caused me to do. But a lot of times, sometimes I say no. Okay. Um, and it's a lot of things I do behind the scene, whether or not people ever say or call and say my name or who helped and who do this and that and the other. God sees, right? God sees and God knows. And I'm thankful for the referrals. I'm thankful for all of that. But let me tell you what I do. There's a time and a place that I know when I need to steal away, that I know I need to, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure that you understand your worth, your value, and not to allow people to kind of try to use you. You need to understand that you too need your time. You need to understand that you too deserve certain things. You deserve your peace. You deserve not to be bothered. You deserve to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. Sometimes them people that's using you anyway. You got to know when to roll out and when to get the deuces. You have to know. And some of those same people will not check in. Sometimes people will pull and squeeze everything out of you that they can use to try to use it to benefit them, and it's not going to work. That's why, and I seen somebody say this thing the other day. People maybe say, I don't see you. You just be, do. First of all, I'm not the type of person. I don't do a lot of. I don't do a lot of group stuff and got to be the clique that and anybody. I'm literally a loner, and that's okay because I know my calling. You understand? I know my calling, and I know what God has caused me to do. And sometimes seasons end and seasons change, but you have to know when, where, how, and who. This is the season where there's been a lot going on these last 7 months. And we got a few more ahead of us. You got to make sure that you're checking in with you, just like you check in with everybody else. So I just wanted to make sure that I check in with you to make sure that you're okay, to see if your cup needs to be full, to tell you you are loved, to tell you you do not have to have your hands in everything to feel like you're somebody, right? Because if you're doing that, then you're defeating the purpose. Okay, it's good if you sit down. If you don't get on, if you fast and stuff on social media, TV, whatever you're doing, make sure you're doing stuff for you. Okay, make sure you're doing stuff for you. Yeah, the stuff looks good. You doing this and you doing that and you on there, but you're wearing yourself out. And I've been saying these things is almost 5 years. I have videos after videos after video of things. Sometimes not because I wanted to do a lot of the things that I do, but because he told me to do it. Not because somebody else is doing it and this looking good over here and this looking, because I can't afford to have myself worn out. Because people getting sick, they're losing their mind, they're suicidal, they got all these things going on because you're doing things for the people and not because of what God has told you to do. So I'm checking in with you. Make sure that you're covering yourself, covering your family, and covering those that are near and dear to you. outside of the ones who God has called you to cover. But I said I was going to be here for some time and not a long time, and my time is up. I pray that, like I said, that you're girded up, you're preparing for what's to come, as well as making sure you're checking in with you. Because if nobody else don't do it, you have to do it. Don't wait on other people to do it. Don't wait on other people to do what you can do. For those of you, that's my social media, whether it's on my business pages or my personal pages, please go. I have a women's Heal Her community cohort that's coming up that I'm doing. I'll probably reshare again in the next few weeks. I have a few spots left. You can pay in full or you can make a deposit. I will be sending emails soon with more information about that. I'm excited about it. That starts at September the 1st. And I also have a my round 5, which is She Becomes. That's in November. But I will, like I said, I will follow up with some more information. I didn't come to talk about that right now. I just come to do a check-in. God bless you. Be encouraged. And I will see you next time on the next Wisdom Wednesday.